the benefit of those who have joined us for the first time, I'll just give a brief introduction about SIGN. So SIGN is one of the earliest technology business incubator set up in academia. To be precise, we have completed 16 years. So we provide start to scale support to startups under various programs. And our programs range from pre-incubation, incubation, and accelerator. Till date, we have supported some 170 plus startups and 500 plus innovators and entrepreneurs besides our various startups that we have supported. And these entrepreneurs in turn have generated 4,000 plus employment opportunities. So our focus mainly when selecting any startups is we look for IP-based, product-based technology startups who have some kind of social impact and making some economic growth, leading to economic growth. So, as you know that we have been conducting these sessions and we have been inviting experts from various fields, giving you insights on various entrepreneurial related aspects. But however, today's session is a bit different in the sense that one of the entrepreneurs who has been part of a plugin program, which is a collaborative program with Intel and DST, Department of Science and Technology, and uh, I would like to welcome Mr. Giridhar Raju, who has been part of the first cohort of the plugin program. Giridhar is an entrepreneur and founder of Epiron Mobility. He's an automotive engineer and has prior work experience with Jaguar Land Rover, Tata Elxsi. He has worked for Force Motors and Tata Motors Limited. He would be mainly talking about electronic tools, mechanical tools, and project. So welcome, Giridhar. So I would just like to introduce the flow of the session also. Like Giridhar will be speaking for about 15 to 20 minutes and then followed by my colleague, Dr. Pranita Pathak, will be telling you about the various opportunities available at Lab Infrastructure. And after that, we'll have some 10 to 20 minutes of 10 to 15 minutes of question answer session. In the meantime, you can also post your questions in the chat box or the question answer section. And over to you, Giridhar.
Thank you, Vandana ma'am. So, good afternoon, team. So it's a Friday evening and the weekend coming up. Hope everybody is still has some energy for the session. I'm going to start with. Yeah. So about myself, I'm Giridhar and I represent Epiron Mobility. So I'm the founder of Epiron Mobility, and we are part of Science first cohort of plugin program. So plugin was another hardware acceleration program between Sign, then DST and Intel. So we are the graduates of the first program, and we are basically primarily into electric cargo vehicles. So that's how we started, and in 2016. And since then, look, we have done quite a bit of stuff in terms of we do complete vehicles, we do battery packs, IoT systems, GPS trackers, and a lot of other sub modules, primarily focusing on the EV sector, right? So before I start with the session, I want to briefly share what we do at Epiron Mobility, right? So this is our first electric cargo bike. So when we launched, we were the first electric cargo bike in the Indian market. So focused just on the cargo segment. So it was not a common vehicle or something like that. It was specifically focused on cargo and last mile deliveries. So that's how the looks. I mean, the looks are extremely functional, and it's focused on load carrying capacity in terms of volume and weight, right, and range as well. Some features of the bike. So it's it's of course like everything is intended. connected nowadays, and that's how we envisioned the bike. And it's connected, and it's supposed to be rugged. It's got a swappable battery and a huge cargo hold, as you can see on the front and back, right? And when we launched, we were basically the features I would say were above what was available in the market. We want to ensure that this was a no compromise bike, right? So yeah, so coming to the session here, like, so we are a hardware startup, right? And I have a lot of colleagues in the startup ecosystem, in the software space, building apps and software and all those stuff. So if you look at, hardware, it's the challenges that we face are multifold. So one aspect of that is cost of tools. So if you look at any software startup, right? So most of the tools are either open source or free, and most of the development tools at least are free, and you don't have to incur significant costs apart from storage and AWS. And even there, we get a lot of credits, Google credits or AWS credits, and that's uh, uh, and that helps them, to not worry about the costs and funding aspects initially. But hardware startups, so the typical challenge we faced were we are mostly a bootstrap startup till Sign funded us. And during that, the challenge has primarily been how to keep the costs low while keeping the hardware development going on. And with hardware development, the challenges significantly are about with tools as well. So a lot of design tools or software and all that. They're not open source. We don't have as many open source options compared to what software startups can get. So then so that's why I wanted to share my experience in terms of what tools are available and how we can, primarily hardware startups, both mechanical or electrical, can leverage these to keep their burn low, right? But to start with, I will focus on the mechanical tools, and the way the tools I'm going to share are not all of them are free, but then there are schemes and facilities available, programs available wherein we can get them free for at least 3 years and 6 years, and then get started. And at least these are some of the cheapest but decently performing tools available for hardware design, right? So to start with, in terms of mechanical design here, so depending on the complexity, there is option of FreeCAD, right? FreeCAD is absolutely basic in terms of its capability. So you can basically do it's a parametric design software, which means and most of the parameters are you can always update, change, and that kind of flexibility is there. And apart from that, you can do pretty complex assemblies as well, but then it's not extremely user friendly. So, and it's not updated frequently as well. So that being said, anybody starting at this is better than going for say CATIA or ProE. They're available, and the license costs of each of them are about I think SolidWorks starts at about 2 lakh something, and Creo starts at about 1 lakh a year, and these are subscription costs. And CATIA is it's a different league on its own. It's about 8-9 lakhs depending on the configuration you choose. So so that's about FreeCAD. And the second tool that we use is Fusion 360. So Fusion 360 is something that we use in our setup, and we have been using this since quite beginning. And it's extremely so it's a package which it lets you design and simulate, and also has a lot of manufacturing support. So in terms of design, here you'd have all, so solid part design, sheet metal design, surface design. It's quite flexible that ways, right? And they also have simulation, right? So simulation is you'll have static stress analysis, and then thermal analysis, buckling, and event simulation. So some of these, not all the features are free, right? A lot of them are on cloud. So for example, generative design, that's have been, I mean, it's a quite an advanced feature wherein like the package itself will optimize the shape depending on the constraints that you provide. So, and also thermal analysis or CFD analysis. So if you want to study, fluid flow, thermal, or cooling or heating impacts on fluids, mostly in mechanical design. So it's quite good that ways. And I mean, so and for startups, the best thing is like they have a 3-year startup program, right? Like you can just apply for this. I think I have the link somewhere. So you can apply for the scheme where you will get. Just give me one moment. So I can share the links parallelly. So wherein like startups can get 3 years worth of license free. So, but there's certain constraints in terms of how big the team can be or how much funding they would have raised. But this has definitely, and that this is how we started. So the whole software was free basically for us for the first 2 years, and then we went on to purchase the package. So here you'll have complete like CAD and CAM and CAE. So the software also provides facilities to generate G codes for CNC or 3D printing and things like that. So with Fusion 360, the other possibility is there's something called the impact program. So wherein if you are a startup working on one of their impact areas, right, for clean technology or no and things like that. So they'll have 3 years worth of all Autodesk mechanical software free for you. This includes AutoCAD or Autodesk and Fusion 360 and a lot of the analysis and Eagle as well. So analysis softwares and all those things. So and we applied for the program and we got a couple of licenses on the complete mechanical suite. So and I think it's an extremely beneficial program. I think the cost of all the software that we got for free was I think about 25-30 lakhs. No, right? So I think I can share the links, and I think startups working on impact programs on how they can make the plant a better place should definitely apply. And also the other thing I forgot to mention on the Fusion 360 part is you'll also have option to design PCBs. So I mean, they also have a version of Eagle that's there, wherein you can go ahead and design end-to-end PCBs, right? From schematic design and netlist imports, a little bit of simulation to complete PCB Gerber generation and things like that. So that's about mechanical design, and with also mechanical, like there are also if you want to, I mean, after you design, what you do, like you basically want to do a lot of analysis on the design, right? So there as well, I think Fusion 360 is quite helpful, as I have discussed already. So you have a lot of simulation, studies available in Fusion 360. So static model frequencies, thermal analysis, thermal stress, buckling, nonlinear, even simulation, and shape optimization, all these things. So I think this has been helpful. I mean, it's a package like, and while you're getting it for free, I think that's extremely helpful. Right, and that's for about mechanical design. And apart from that, another tool that I think is extremely underrepresented is OpenFOAM. It's an open source CFD platform. I mean, it's still in development stages, and it's being an open source software. Like, it's not as good as the commercial versions available, but I have come across cases where people have been extremely resourceful and done quite a bit of stuff on that. So this you can use the aerodynamics suite to optimize the shape or of say propellers or wingtips or even automotive car bodies, right? So that's about mechanical design packages. And then like a lot of the hardware startups here nowadays, irrespective of mechanical, electrical, I think there's not there's no option other than the electronic part, the embedded or electronics part of it is very integral to any kind of hardware startup. So even like mechanical startups like mine. So initially I would not have thought that electronics would have been such an integral part. So, but now with EVs and technology progressing generally, I think electronics is also an integral part. So, for which we do a lot of packages that we use. So, one of the most widely used package for electronics design is KiCad. So, this could be an option for Eagle or a couple of other expensive packages, right? So, I think KiCad is extremely a capable software in terms of how you can start with schematic design, PCB routing, 3D view of the whole PCB and with the mechanical parts. In fact, like we use that to basically design the enclosures and do mechanical packaging as well. So from KiCad, you can design a PCB, the whole, and you can visualize it in 3D and export that to a 3D package like Fusion or CATIA or ProE. And it's also has got a pretty decent rendering package, wherein like you can do all the visualizations of the PCB and the mechanical packaging of it, right? Apart from that, we also so there are a couple of other tools like Liber PCBs, again an alternative to KiCad, but we don't use it as frequently, and but it's quite capable here. And the tools like Saturn PCB Toolkit. So it's mostly an online calculator for all the things that you would want to do with a PCB in terms of signal tracing calculations, trace widths, heights, and those kind of calculations. So Saturn is pretty good there. And then so anybody working on electronics, they would also want to design and simulate a lot of circuits, right? So LT Spice is pretty good. So LT Spice is analog devices software, but it's based on the Spice engine. So Spice engine is what drives a lot of these commercial simulations. So that ways you can get LT Spice, and we have solutions from TI as well. And for electronics as well, most of the OEMs like Analog or TI would provide an analog simulation package themselves, right? And then anybody working on digital circuits, I'm sure like would have have felt the need for logic analyzer. So there are a couple of branded ones, but the problem with them is they're extremely expensive. So the alternative is they're extremely cheap ones available in India. I mean, like on anywhere, like for example, Amazon or Hackatronics and things like that. And all of them would support Logic's logic software. So basically, it can be used to debug and read digital circuits and do any kind of protocol analysis and stuff like that. And these are mostly embedded softwares and PCB design. And for teams or startups who are working on power electronics, like people working on switch mode power supplies and designing, chargers or DC-DC converters. So this site called Power ECM is fantastic, right? So what Power ECM would allow you to do is like you can basically go in there and put in your AC inputs. I mean, you can select AC-DC or DC-DC converters, and apart from that, it would and when you put in the functions, and you can choose from like about 40 plus topologies in terms of what kind of converter you want. And when you get something, when the output that you get is like from there you will get complete design in terms of the overall topology design. Apart from that, it will also help you design the transformer and the inductors and the component selection. So in the initial days when we were new to power electronics design, so this has been extremely helpful in terms of quickly coming up with DC-DC converter designs for our circuits. So that was one. I think this covers most of the mechanical design and electrical design packages that we use, and almost all of them, apart from Fusion 360, is free, right? Uh, so, and then we come to productivity tools. Yeah, I mean, so So there is no alternative. I mean, the next best alternative to Microsoft Office, as people, everybody would have worked with Google Docs. I mean, they have nothing. I mean, there's nothing new I would have to add there. So I'm sure people would have used it. But just that, unless we have a commercial Google account, when like the domain on Google account, and you're paying for it, you'll have to still work in discrete teams. You don't have the collaboration sorted out properly. So an alternative to the real alternative to Microsoft Office would be LibreOffice. It's completely open source, and the kind of we use that extensively, LibreOffice. So we don't use Microsoft Office anymore, and we have found that it if not exceeding, but it at least meets Microsoft Office in terms of capabilities, right? And as startups, like I'm sure, like a lot of you would also be doing a lot of accounting, right? When you invoice customers or when you have payments to make to record those things. So there is this software called Wave Apps, right? You can just it's pretty. First of all, it's free completely, and then it helps you create invoices and keep a track of your accounting, like so that at the end of the year you're not running around with bills and fighting with CAs and accountants, saying that for the accounting purposes. And I'm sure like accounting is required for any due diligence or any of the even sign when it wants to fund you, they would want to see what your expenses or accounting is. So that ways we have been using Wave for about initially we used couple of years before we moved to Zoho Books. So that ways I think so there are limitations, but I think it helped us initially during the first 2 years. It was pretty good that ways. So and secondly, like why I would also want to share as to like why this is important to use. I mean, why I'm sharing all this is because so a lot of the startups might think here, we are a startup, small company, it doesn't matter. We'll just get some software, use the crack version, and then get going. But the problem becomes here is that once you're a startup or a company, right? So it's not as easy. You have to also think about the future. So for example, like once you get stuck in one of these conversations where the OEM or the software distributor catches you in the act, and then it's going to be a painful year and a half. And significant cost will be involved if people get you using unauthorized software. So I think it's important that we either we are able to pay for the software and use them, or find alternatives so that we are not in trouble, right? So and anyways, like I'm going to share. So I could not share the links for all these softwares as such. I can share it with the Sign team, and Sign team can further share the links to the attendees today, right? So I think that is it from me today. So mostly I just wanted to share, I mean, our journey in terms of using softwares and how we are trying to ensure that we're not paying exorbitant fees for OEM packages. So I'm open for questions if anybody would want to ask any doubts or anything.
Thank you, Giridhar. So much insights in the practical aspects when the startups doing the product development and their journey during their journey. So I think there is one question. Yeah, there's one question which is there. How about license of Fusion 360? How much it cost? I think you covered the 2 years of free licenses, but they want to know the cost. Can you share some?
See, Fusion 360's license is typically about 27,000 rupees per license per seat per year. Okay. But the thing is, so every first week of every August, they have so startups have to be creative here as well and opportunistic here as well, because Fusion, for example, what it does is annually it will there is a 1 week offer period where it does 50% off. So we buy our license renewals during that period. So we have synced our time that every year it will, we buy at that period, and it costs us 11,000 rupees for for a year-long license.
Okay. So you have to be a little bit opportunistic and grab that opportunity to save your cost, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. There was one more question while during registrations we have received. One is tools which can be used for drawing 3D sketches for prototype. So
Which one again?
drawing 3D sketches for prototype. So can you?
Fusion 360 is good there as well. So
Okay.
one is FreeCAD can be used, but as I said, it is very basic. And so the best thing with both the softwares is there's a ton of resources available online on YouTube, or even they have on their own sites. They have a lot of tutorials and those things. So both Fusion 360 and FreeCAD are pretty good for 3D sketching or modeling.
Okay. I think that answers the question. And one more question which we have received is: are there any specific tools for automotive electronics development?
See, automotive electronics, it's not very different from electronics development. So it's like whatever tools you'd use to develop normal embedded systems, like circuit design or schematic capture or analog simulation. So the same tools would be used for automotive design. So we are in the field and we use say KiCad extensively. So KiCad is again open source package for all analysis. So you can do schematic capture, PCB layouts, right? You can do pretty complex PCB layouts. So up to 32 layers, and the package is used by CERN, like the collider, and a lot of other government agencies.
Okay. And one more question is, it is related to, I think, your product. Does the bike certified by ARAI? Is that what
Our bike is a low-speed bike, which is like we got it certified from EREI, but it's an exemption. It is not a high-speed certification. So ours is a bike with top speed of less than 25 kilometers per hour. So which essentially means that you have to take it to EREI and they will test it that it does not cross 25 kilometers per hour, and that's how you get an exemption certificate.
Okay. Dashrath, is there anyone raising hands for the questions? We can unmute them and let them ask questions. Hello? Swati? Is there anyone who has raised hands and want to ask questions? We can allow them.
Yeah, there is one hand which is raised.
Yeah. Just unmute them and let him ask the question. Hello?
Dashrath, can you unmute James?
Yeah, I already unmute this person.
Who is the name of, what is the name of the person?
James. James, are you there?
Yeah, you can ask your question, James.
Yeah, you already unmute.
Yeah. Am I here audible?
Yes.
Yeah, while prototyping, so basically want to do means like if you want means like when we are having a startup, right, like a hardware startup, when we are manufacturing some products, so when we are manufacturing any chassis or something, so basically how can we approach it?
Yeah, see, there is no straight answer to that. You have to go through the process. Like you basically have to build your first design and go talk to a fabricator, or unless you have the facility in house. So you'll have to design the first, get the first design manufactured and see if it works or not. Or unless you can do pretty good simulations wherein you will figure out if the structure works or not. So if you have access to simulation tools, I think that's the first thing you should do. Figure out the structure works with loads and even the manufacturability is possible or not. Then you go ahead and manufacture the first prototype and test it out.
Okay.
So and you iterate that and keep doing that unless you have a satisfactory product.
Okay.
I don't think there's a shortcut to that.
Means like how we can make sure that like the pricings that vendors are giving us is correct or correct, and those things I want to say.
See that also is a discovery process. Again, there is no simple answer to that. For example, certain product, when a big company buys are extremely cheap. I mean, a small company buys are extremely expensive. And
Just a minute, Giridhar. I request all the participants to mute themselves. Hello? Yeah, continue. Giridhar, you continue.
yeah, so there also I think it's a discovery process. You just talk to multiple suppliers for the same component, and then figure out whichever is giving you the best value for money. And a lot of times it's not just the product, absolute price. You'll also have to figure out the cost and the processes that they're doing, right? So the price will also depend significantly on that.
I think that answered the question. Yeah. There's one more question. SolidWorks is a paid package, but I understand that Acha, this is for
Yeah, somebody asked if SolidWorks will support such a situation. I said I think Sign has, if they have licenses to spare, they can help the team.
Yeah. We can share that information later with that participant. Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah.
I think there is one more question which is from our Sign team. Is there any platform, common platform where all such software information is made available from time to time? Like what kind of softwares are available for the startups? What are the maybe the any kind of discounts or any kind of specific offers to the startup? Is there any common platform?
I've not come across anything because see, a lot of these things are different fields. For example, electronics. We discussed electronics. Electronics design software today, and then mechanical design software. They being from different fields, I don't think there is any team or anybody interested in collating all that information and or posting it somewhere. But I think honestly, Rashmi, I think that's a good idea. Somebody should at least put a list of all the open source and free softwares available for hardware startups or any startups for that matter.
Right. Yeah, because it will give information in one place, so that becomes very handy for the startups also, I feel.
Absolutely.
If it comes up like something comes up like that, yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay, so I think we should start our next session. And meanwhile, if there are any questions coming up, we will take it up after the second presentation. Is that okay? Hello?
Yep, sounds good to me. Yeah.
Yeah, so now I think I request Pranita to give information about what are the facilities and R&D facilities, prototyping facilities at Sign. Pranita? Yeah. I'll share the content and maybe you can tell me when to change the slide and then we will do that. Yeah?
Sure, Rashmi. Thank you. So thanks, Rashmi. And
yeah.
So hello everyone, and thank you all of you for joining us today for this session. I'm Pranita. I'm a part of the business development team at Sign, and till now we have heard very important information about the various tools available for the designing purposes, which are really important for any startup during their early stage. Today I will be speaking more about specifically about the lab infrastructure and instrumentation facility which is available at Sign. Again, for the startups, innovators, entrepreneurs. Rashmi, can we move to the next slide? So, as a technology business incubator, Sign aims to develop the state-of-the-art facility, which will support innovative projects to translate your idea POC into commercial ventures. And as you see in the slide, we have currently established, we have 3 lab facilities, and these lab facilities, we have established this infrastructure and instrument to cater the preliminary requirement of startups for R&D as well as prototype development. And these labs we have established with the help of DBT and DST's various programs. These facilities are open for everyone, including science startups, researchers, innovator, people from outside campus as well. For outsource R&D projects, any outsource pharma projects, they all are welcome to come and use this facility. So now, when we started off establishing this facility, the aim to develop this facility was to have accessible facilities for the young innovators, early stage startup at affordable cost. So because such facilities are sometimes not accessible when they are needed. So let's say when startups design the prototype for their product, it undergoes various design iteration until they make the finished products, as well as during validation process, or maybe when they want to manufacture small quantities of prototypes, then this is very difficult, or even could be expensive with commercially available manufacturing facility. So for all these, for all these stages, when the startups is in their early stage, they can use this science metalworking and prototyping labs, which are which are there in the slides. You can use this facility. These are available to cater all such requirement of startup in their early stage. So Sign has established, as I've already mentioned, three labs, that is BioLab facility, which is at the top, and then metalworking facility, electronic and prototyping facility. I'll be talking about all these facility more in my next slides. Rashmi, can we move to the next slide? Yeah. So let's start with the Sign BioLab facility. Sign, if most of you must be aware that Sign also focus on startups who work in medtech and healthcare domains. So thus Sign has established this BioLab facility, which is equipped with some basic lab instrument such as biosafety cabinet, shaker incubator, microscope, UV visible spectrophotometer, PCR machine, electrophoresis unit, and many more. So in this slide, basically I have mentioned few instruments which can be used for molecular biology studies. So here we have thermal cycler, which is most commonly known as a PCR machine. And nowadays, during this pandemic, most of you must have heard about this machine. So here we have the gradient PCR. Gradient PCR, which delivers the precise temperature control and Peltier effect technology for the thermal gradient, which easily optimize the PCR assays in single run. So we have this gradient thermal PCR in our lab, which can be used for sequencing, cloning, genotyping, mutagenesis, and many other applications. One of the important feature about this machine is that it has 2 heating blocks with 48 wells each, so which allows 2 independent experiments to run simultaneously, so that 2 innovators, or maybe 2 startups, maybe 2 different people who have a 2 different protocol, they can work simultaneously in our lab. So there won't be any problem of getting slots or something. So that's why this machine will help you here. Then we have electrophoresis unit, which I have mentioned here, which is highly advanced unit to identify, quantify, purify nucleic acid fragments, protein samples, to separate and analyze the DNA protein sample. So it can be used for all these purposes. And we also have an advanced and highly sensitive gel documentation system. So it is a ChemiDoc model for analysis of protein and DNA samples. So once you run your gel, you would like to take a picture of the gels so that you will be able to publish in your publication, research paper, or for documentation purpose. So this ChemiDoc or GelDoc system will help you which enables comprehensive automated and quantitative image analysis and documentation of restricted digest, maybe amplified nucleic acid, genetic fingerprinting, then protein purification and characterization. So this machine will help you getting right images for your publication purpose. Rashmi, can we move to the next slide? So then Sign also has set up a tissue culture facility. So this tissue culture facility is equipped with high-end biosafety cabinet, advanced CO2 incubator, and reliable cryopreservation. with liquid nitrogen storage facility. So here you can do your tissue culture related work. So this facility can be used for maintaining and proliferation of the variety of cell lines from plant, animal origin, as well as various tissues, organs, organism under a sterile and controlled condition. So this sort of a work is possible at SINE in this in our tissue culture lab facility. And maybe most of you are aware that cell culture is one of the critical facility where a lot of things needs to be taken care of. So, and it is one of the major tool also used in cellular and molecular biology, studying the physiology, biochemistry, metabolic studies, aging, then to study the effect of drugs, toxic compounds on the cells, mutagenesis, carcinogenesis. So this facility can also be used in drug screening and development, and large-scale manufacturing of biological compounds such as vaccine, therapeutic proteins. So this facility is available for you at SINE for using for all these purposes or doing R&D work in this area. Then we also have a biosafety cabinet, which is class 2A2, which is highly efficient cabinet in providing the necessary sterile environment for your work. This facility is equipped with advanced instrument which can deliver the reliable results, as well as it assures the safe storage of your cell lines with our cryopreservation facility for a longer time. Again, the CO2 incubator which we have, it has a features such as it gives us the log of temperature and CO2, which will help you, keeping a tab of the quality of the results, and it will help you definitely to have a reliable environment to maintain your cell lines. Rashmi, can we move to the next slide? So again, I mean, this was about the molecular biology facility and the tissue culture. But again, there are certain no biology lab is completed with dedicated instrument which furnishes the biology lab setup, such as lab, that is laminar airflow, or incubator, shaker incubator where you actually grow your microorganism. You start your experiment with that. So spectrophotometer, microscope, these are the primary necessities of the biolab to carry out your work. And you will have the access to all these instruments here in our biolab. Again, UV spectrophotometer is a crucial instrument, and it is not only just for the bio-related work, but other work can also be done with this. It is for detection of concentration, impurities, functional groups, molecular weight, then food, and it can also used in work related to food and pharmaceuticals, nanotechnology work. So all these work is possible, and it has various, the software provides various means to analyze your data with this UV visible spectrophotometer. Rashmi, next slide, please. So again, we have at Biolab, we have storage facilities, ultra low temperature storage facility, that is -80, -20, to store your cultures here, and this we also have a 4-degree refrigerators to store your samples, your cultures at Biolab. As I have already mentioned, we also have a cryo storage facility, that is liquid nitrogen storage. Rashmi, next slide, please. And again, these are few commonly used instruments in bio-related work, which I have mentioned here. We are also in process of establishing the facility which is equipped with high-end instruments. So we are not stopping here, but we are in process of establishing this facility with high-end instrument essential to validate or test the diagnostic products, formulation, solution. And this facility, which we are maybe come up in next few years, will enhance the research ability of startup SMEs, as it will be available at very affordable cost for the startups innovators at their early stage. Again, I will mention here, these facilities are open for everyone, including science startups, researchers, innovators from outside for outsourced R&D projects and pharma projects. So please do approach us to use any of this facility. Rashmi, can we move to the next slide? Thank you. So this was about the Biolab. So besides Biolab, of course, we have metalworking and prototyping. So once you are done with your R&D work, you move to making some sort of a prototype. So these are the lab which you will be looking for. Now the Science metalworking facility is equipped with CNC lathe, which is a production machine used in industries. In addition to that, this facility also has a manual mill and lathe machine, as well as power tool and laser cutter. So about which I'll be talking in a few slides. These labs, offers opportunity for you for R&D, using it as an additional capacity for CNC training, as well as here simulators are also available for CNC control training. So here in this slide, we see that CNC mill. So this CNC mill can be used for operations like face milling, end milling, side and face milling, drilling, etc. And it is highly robust, accurate, and used as a production machine in the industries. It also comes with a simulator which can be used for CNC control training. So you will have the access to this lab in our metalworking lab, which is supported by DST program. Then we also have a manual milling machine which can be used for operations such as face milling, end milling, side and face milling. And again, it is very common manufacturing processes used in machinery shops as well as industry to manufacture highly precision products and products which is of different shapes and size as well. Rashmi, can we move to the next slide? Now there are, as I've already mentioned, there are other machines such as CNC lathe, a machine which is again highly robust and accurate. It is used as a production machine in the industries. It again comes with a simulator, and it is used. We also have here manual lathe machine. Sine has a Proxon PD400 manual lathe machine, which can be used for operations like facing, turning, taper turning, chamfering, cutoff, or parting, boring. It is again one of the commonly used machine for manufacturing processes. And Sine has CNC as well as manual lathe machine. Rashmi, can we move to the next slide? Yeah. So now coming to the DST metalworking lab. Again, this lab is also supported by DST program. And here in this slide, as you see, there is a laser cutting and engraving machine. So it is a non-metal laser cutter. And the laser cutting engraving machine is used to cut and engrave materials such as acrylic, MDF, PVC, glass, etc. as per design. So you can use this machine here in our lab. Then we also have a drilling machine, Sine metalworking lab. Then Sine metalworking lab is also equipped with different power tools. So you can see here different power tools, hand tools, which are available and which are generally used in industry. So these all are mentioned in slide here for your information. Then we also have various measuring instruments. These instruments are important for determining the dimensions of any given object, such as angle, straightness, then eccentricity, flatness, etc. So Sine Lab is equipped with all such instruments which will help you in manufacturing this smaller quantities and units or maybe products for testing purposes or validation purposes. And everyone has access to this facility. We also have a proper lab trained person which will help you, assist you while you work in these labs also. Rashmi, next slide, please. Yeah. So now coming to prototyping, okay. Now coming to this PCB fabrication facility. Here we have, yes, thank you.
Yeah, it went ahead. Yeah.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes. So yes, we have 3D printers, which is one of the attraction in our lab, which is commonly used nowadays for prototyping purpose. So we have again DST prototyping Prayashala, where we have this 3D printer, vinyl cutters, PSB drilling machines, PSB milling machines, PCB printers, SMT pick and place machine. I'll be telling about these in my next slides. However, here we have these instruments are available for additive manufacturing, such as 3D printing, 3D printers. And here in this slide, we can see there are 3D printers mentioned. And Sign Prototype Lab has a Flash Forge Guider and Ultimaker printers, and they work on fused filament fabrication. So we have here Sense RS 3D scanner, which also collects data that can be used to construct the digital 3D models, which will help you making your prototype. Next slide, please. So prototyping lab also has this Rollin model of PCB milling machine to manufacture PCB. It has 5-station automatic tool chain, automated and design automation. Then we have here PCB joint machine, and then solder paste stencil printer, SMT pick and place. SMT pick and place machine can reliable to place a wide variety of components on a single PCB board or many boards with precision. So it is also available for your prototyping purpose. Then we also have a Rashmi, can we move to the next slide? Yeah. Then we also have some testing setup also. So once you will also need this testing setup during your prototyping process. So Sign Prototyping Lab has this electronic testing setup, which is used to test circuits and other electronic components. We also have here PCB printer, which tracks PCB tracks can be printed using conducive ink in this printer, and also drilling option is available in the same machine. Sign Prototype Lab has Volterra V1 PCB printer. This Volterra V1 lays down conductive ink on PCB to create circuit paths. So there is no more chemicals or metal dust that comes from the traditional subtractive method. So you can use this for your work. We have other instrument for testing purposes. We have SolidWorks. We also have a SolidWorks software in our lab, which will further help you in your work. So you will have access to this software in our lab. So these labs which I have mentioned, biolab, metalworking, and prototyping labs. So these will take care of your R&D processes as well as your prototyping manufacturing, prototype manufacturing in your early stage. And these facilities, again, I'll reiterate here, these are open for everyone. And to access this facility, please visit Sign website. You will get all the necessary links there. You can also write to us if you would like to access this facility. Rashmi, next slide, please. So in addition to our facility, the Sign incubators also have access to the facilities in IIT Bombay, which are available with CEFs, CRNTS, as well as departmental common instrument facilities. And all these facilities are mentioned on the IIT website as well. And you will also find the links on Sign website as well. So if you are associated with us, you will also get the access to these facilities also. Next slide, please, Rashmi. Yes, so Sign is also recognized as a center of excellence by DST, and our building is expected to be up and running probably in next year. There we have around 16,000 square feet area, which is earmarked for the Sign lab and research facility. So a huge amount of lab facilities with good your a good infrastructure will be available for the startups for their R&D work. So this facility will host around 100 innovator startups and provide infrastructure to support in-house startup office, co-working space, biochemistry suites, weight labs, and other facility which are designed. Next slide, please. So here, before I end my end my presentation here with the lab facilities available with us, I have I have very important information for the people who are starting their work and would like to apply for any grants. So there are various calls are open right now. The call from for prototyping grant or EIR under DST and MIT, it is open till 21st August 2020. And the call for biotechnology ignition grant, which is a flagship program of the BIRAC, which is around 50 lakhs funding support. That the call for that is open till 15 September up to 5:30 p.m., not midnight. So if you want to apply for BIRAC, please apply till 15 September up to 5:30 p.m. Next slide, please, Rashmi. Yeah, so thank you, everyone. And again, if you would like to access any of this facility, these are the email addresses and the concerned contact person mentioned here. Please do write to us on these email addresses for more information. And please do visit our website for necessary details and the links. Thank you. Thank you, Rashmi. Over to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Pranita. You have given such a detailed information. I think it is really useful for the attendees. There are a couple of questions. Do we have a metal 3D printer? So we do not have, at present, we do not have metal 3D printer at Sign, but you can access the facility. If you are a Sign incubator, you can access the facility of IIT Bombay. So what is the eligibility to access Sign facilities? Pranita, can you answer this?
Yeah, sure. So if you would like to use these lab facilities, there is no as such any guidelines for, I mean, eligibility criteria. If you would like to access this facility, then there are certain I'll say policies available at our place, and these facilities are chargeable facilities. So they will be open from 10 to 6, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can write to us for use this facility. If whatever you need, if we have that, we will, as per the our available time slots, we will make it available for you.
Yeah. Any other question? Any participant who wants to ask question?
I think, Rashmi, again, there is one question here. Are facilities open to any startups? So as I have already mentioned in my presentation, yes, these facilities are open to any startups. They need not to be a Sign incubatee for that purpose to access our instrumentation facility. But based on the time slot, availability of the time slot and the availability instrumentation facility as per your requirement, that is the main thing.
Okay, I think there is one hand raised. Mr. Sampath, do you want to ask any question? Hello?
Hello, Sampath.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to ask some question?
Get permission from any authority.
Hello?
I wanted to design my first prototype. Can you hear me?
Hello? Hello? You are on mute, Sampath. You have to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
My question is very simple. I wanted to design a vehicle. In that case, do I need to get permission, prior permission from any authority to test that, design that, and make it and test it? Is that any specific permission is needed from government?
Yeah, Rashmi, I can answer this.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so Sampath, the thing is, you can of course design your prototype, but if you're, as long as you're not taking on it on public roads, you don't need any permission or any authority to sign off. But if you want to test the prototype on public roads, you have to get a letter from your local RTO.
RTO, okay.
So that's called a TC, trade certificate.
Okay.
You can go to an RTO, say, "Ki, I need
what is the validity of that RTO certificate?
That will that's an annually renewable certificate.
So for 1 year, if I want to test, also I can test.
Yes.
One more doubt I have.
Yeah.
Do I need to, for example, I wanted to make an electrical vehicle for like yours, some load carrying vehicle or something like a forklift. I am planning for a forklift.
Okay.
So do I need to get a registration number for that forklift?
The forklift, so vehicles not plying in public roads don't need registration certificates. For example, if it's a vehicle is inside a factory compound, they don't need registration certificates.
Okay.
So it depends on the forklift is going to be a public asset or it's going to be operated inside a factory or a premises. If it's in a factory, you don't need any registration.
Now, regarding that 1 year certificate, can you just tell me that name of that certificate? I'll note it down.
It's called a trade certificate.
Trade certificate. Okay.
Yeah.
Sir. Thank you. Actually, your presentation was very nice.
Thanks. Thank you, Sampath.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, there is one more question. I think Pranita, you can take it. Do we have technicians to operate the facilities, or we need to be present physically to run the jobs?
We have actually technicians to which will be there to help you in the lab. Of course, if something is there which even they can do it, they will help, but they will not take the whole responsibility of processing the samples. So till now we have not done any such thing. So because users are themselves would like to do their testing and probably some R&D work if there is anything, they try to do it on their own. But of course we have some assistance with some help for doing that. And besides that, I would like to mention one more point. When I said about the charges, that these facilities are chargeable facilities, but these facilities are, for sign incubators, this facility are at subsidized rate. But at the same time, these facilities are established with the help of the funds from the DST and DBT under Bionest and from DBT. So these aim of establishing this facility is to make these facilities available, accessible for the startups at affordable cost. So of course they will be not as expensive as you will find it outside. So they will be available at affordable cost. But of course for sign incubator it will be subsidized rate.
Even I would just to add to that, even IIT facilities, if you are a sign incubator, these facilities are available at the subsidized rate. So whatever sophisticated facilities are at IIT Bombay, sign incubators can avail those facilities at a subsidized rate. Okay, going on to the next question. Are the remote jobs possible during the COVID times? So currently our lab is not functioning because some of the labs we have opened partially, but not fully. Maybe because of IIT restrictions also. So maybe in a month's time, we will be opening fully our lab facilities as well. And that time you can come and use our facilities. Hello.
Yes, Rashmi.
Yeah. So I think we are almost at the end of the session, and thank you everybody. Thank you Giridhar for joining and giving a lot of insights into the product
Thank you,
development.
Rashmi.
Which will definitely help the participants in their product development journey. And thanks Pranita, thank you so much. And thank you all the participants for joining this program, for joining this session. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks
This
a lot,
will
participants.
close- Yeah, this will close this session. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, team.